What's up, everybody? Good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. And obviously, the Seattle Seahawks need a new offensive coordinator. I think we all know that. I think we're all familiar with the fact that Ryan Grubb is now no longer here and we need somebody new. So, there's a lot that I'm going to be saying over the next few weeks concerning this hire. And obviously, I don't expect this to be a quick process. I think that this team owes it to their players, and I think they just owe it to themselves to look at as many options as possible and make sure they find the best candidate possible. And that would mean not making a decision in the next few days. So I think we have plenty of time. I'm going to go through a pretty exhaustive list of candidates and discuss them from my perspective and basically just try to get to the bottom of who would be best for this position. Now, we don't have a lot of information yet, and by information I mean things from the team. We don't know who they might be prioritizing, we don't know who they might be looking at, but we do have a few bits of information from McDonald earlier today. He gave a press conference and he discussed some of the things that they're going to be doing and have already done. And I got this tweet on screen here from Alyssa Charleston Smith. She runs down a couple of the details of the things that McDonald had to say. The first thing that actually isn't listed here is he said that he is willing to have this be a long process that plays out over the course of weeks or even a month. So I don't know why he would say anything else, but he did say that. So it would not be a surprise if this was not settled until around the Super Bowl, maybe, or maybe even after the Super Bowl. And it wouldn't be a big deal, right? The players are not meeting to practice. The team is not congregating at the VMAC yet. They don't need an offensive coordinator yet. They're probably going to start to need an offensive coordinator when free agency decisions are being made in the lead up to March. So you probably want to have your OC in place by February, mid to late February, but before then, you can take the time that you need to find the right guy. So let's go through these things that McDonald had to say. And I've already said earlier today, I said what I'm looking for in this OC hire, what I want, what I think needs to be done here. So I don't know if the team is going to mirror the priorities that I outlined in my previous video, but let's take a look at what they have so far. There's at least one thing that McDonald had to say that I thought was illuminating and interesting. Some of the other things were pretty boilerplate. Some of the other things were typical of what you would expect a coach to say in this circumstance. But there was one thing he said that I think should indicate what the process is here. So the first thing he said was they've put in a few slips to interview candidates. Presumably, we're going to know who those candidates are in the coming days. Interviews are typically not conducted in private. They're typically not conducted away from the media. If a team meets with a candidate or wants to meet with a candidate, people know. So in the next few days here, we should actually get an idea of who they are initially going after. Not to say those are the guys they want the most. The guys they want the most, they may not have access to because they might still be in the postseason and not be willing to interview. We don't know. But we know they've already put some names out there. Keep an eye out for who those names are in the coming days. Now, he also said, and this is where me and him maybe have a little bit of a disagreement, NFL play calling experience, not a requirement. Now, I don't have a problem with him saying this because you don't want to eliminate options before you even start. You want to be open to anything. You want to be open to a Josh McCown. You want to be open to an Adam Stenavich. You want those guys to be able to at least go after the position. And maybe they impress you so much, you decide that you're cool with them not having play calling experience. Maybe you feel like their breadth of experience doing whatever it is they've done is so good it supersedes that. So I don't mind them saying that, but I would hope that play calling experience is considered to be a big positive that they look at heavily when they're making these decisions. So I'm fine with that. And look, if the team ends up with Adam Stenavich or Josh McCown or somebody like that, I'm not going to be unhappy about it because those guys are very intriguing. Those guys could be very good in this league. Like I said, trying to hire one of those guys is kind of like trying to hit a 500-foot home run. And the thing about trying to hit a 500-foot home run is sometimes you hit a 500-foot home run. And those guys could be that. I don't doubt that. There are guys that we could hire that I would be a little less in on, but I'm not against it. I would just prefer getting something a little more solid. But it's this third comment, this second bullet point here, that I think is the most intriguing from Mike McDonald earlier today. In-house promotion is not currently being considered. Now, the word currently here is going to be focused on a little bit, right? Because that's implying that could change. But in-house promotion is not currently being considered, which would mean, if that holds, Jake Peetz is not considered an option for the OC job. And that is a person who has been discussed heavily with that role. Sorry, guys, my phone rang again. My phone always rings whenever I'm shooting one of these videos. It feels like had to get it. But, yeah, that's the interesting thing that McDonald said. They're not looking to promote from in-house, which, on a fundamental level, I think is great. I generally think you don't want to promote in-house if you don't have some really, really strong foundation. Like, Andy Reid should probably be promoting in-house whenever they hire a new offensive coordinator, right? When Andy Reid needs a new offensive coordinator, going in-house makes sense because he's got such a strong tree growing beneath him. And at the end of the day, Andy Reid is the guy who runs things there. So it makes sense that they would just go get somebody he trusts who has been around him and his system for a while now. It would make sense for someone like Bill Belichick when he's hiring defensive coordinators to hire in-house, because what he had going on there in New England, not anymore, of course, but in the heyday of New England, they had things going so well there that there was no need to go outside. But the Seahawks need a fresh set of eyes on things. And while I appreciate Jake Peetz, and I don't think it's a terrible idea, I feel like getting someone like him would imply some things that I don't like. It would imply that they weren't able to get somebody more desirable from outside. It would imply that they didn't go through their due diligence and really try to search through the options to find somebody a little bit better. And they'd ultimately be hiring somebody with no real play caller experience to fall back on. I know Jake Peetz is not completely an in-house guy because he comes from the McVay tree, and I know some people will point to that, but I do think that that kind of in-house hire would be fairly viewed as the team just trying to find somebody that they can put into the role without really thinking about finding the best guy or finding the most qualified guy or what have you. They just want to get the guy who's there. So that's interesting, because Jake Peetz was going to be the first candidate that I discussed, and I'm still probably going to discuss him, but it is worth noting that this comment seems to take him off the board. So now we wait and see who the team is actually looking at. I'm going to go and get out of here. See you guys later. I should be going live with the Hawk Talk in about an hour. So I'll try to post a link to the community tab to that stream as I'm going live. So hop in. And I'll also try to post it on the Discord if you guys are in there. Hope to see you guys later. Go Hawks. And yeah, that's all we know so far for the Seahawks with their offensive coordinator search.